Y'all can't even get right over the holidays, man. Arguing through Christmas. What's going on out here, man? New Year's is like a few days away. The Grift Report starts now.
2, 1, boom. Hotep Jesus.
Of all the Jesuses I know, he's the Hotepiest. Social scientist and YouTube host, Hotep Jesus.
How the fuck do you get a name like Hotep Jesus?
The one and only Hotep Jesus.
Ryan Sharp, better known to the world as Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Somebody said, "What do you think you are? Some kind of Hotep Jesus?"
Ooh,
And I
that's
was
good.
just like, ooh, that's sexy. Yes, I do think I'm Hotep Jesus.
What's up, people? Welcome to the Grift Report, live Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. I'm your host, the Grift God.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
Hotep to the chat, Hotep to the Hotepistanis.
Hotep.
What up, y'all? Welcome back. Steph Colonel, what up? Xantov, R&D, Jeremy. Descendant of Loki with 10 Hotep Jesus memberships gifted. Damn, we starting off early, Loki. Loki's starting off early. Shout out to Descendant of Loki. Welcome to the podcast sponsored by Syscoin and the Descendant of Loki. Dre, what up, man? Sauce the Prophet, Jack Reeves. Rob question mark. Got an action-packed show for you today. An action-packed show for you today. It's hot on the timeline that the grift has swung my way. I didn't do this on purpose, mind you. I just couldn't. This is what happens when... We're going to hop right into the topic. This is what happens when you just can't help but to grift. I couldn't help myself. And so now I've entangled myself into the debate, the conservative calendar debate. And Bryson Gray has called me out. Hotep to Bryson Gray.
Hotep.
In case many of you are not aware, there is a conservative... Hold on, let's pull this up. Let's not waste any time here. Let's get right to the nitty gritty. You know I'm going to call it straight. You know I'm going to call it down the middle. You know I'm going to keep it real. Got to be honest with you. I got to be honest with my people. I got to tell them the truth. If you're going to get the truth, you're going to get it here. Okay? So here we have a product called Conservative Dads, Real Women of America 2024 calendar. It's going for $25, limited supply. Features Riley Gaines, Ashley St. Clair, Kim Klacik, Josie the Red-Headed Libertarian, and many more. I'm just here for Kim Klacik. Anyway, as you can see on the screen right there, you know, our chocolate wonder. So it's Christmas, right? It was Christmas weekend, and I wanted to spend as little time near my phone as possible. So outside of studying chess, that's exactly what I did. I wanted to spend as much time with family as possible. I didn't want to be on the internet arguing with strangers. And I try to catch up today, thanks to Jabari and the Jasons. I see that there was, in the For You tab, For You tab was like, hey, look, people have been arguing over this conservative calendar for the past 3 days, apparently, going on 4. It appears to be some argument between Bryson Gray and the red-headed libertarian. Somehow she got commingled in this, obviously because, she's in the calendar. So let's dive into some of those tweets before we give you a real nigga's opinion. Okay? All right. Hold on. Let me just pull these up. It's a lot. It's a lot to go through here. I mean, trying to track down this argument, I spent the bulk of my morning trying to figure out what's going on with the calendar thing. Oh my God. Bryson, when I tell you Bryson struck a nerve, Bryson struck a nerve. I mean, that nerve has been struck. All right, let's go into it. I just opened up like 35 tweets that we got to look through. Let's start right here. So one of the early things I saw this morning was this. They got a cartoon of Bryson here. It says conservative half-naked woman standing next to Christian imagery is demonic. And then it says, then how do you propose we should dress, mister? And then you see them with the full Islamic burqa garb.
Alhamdulillah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, would you prefer that? Would you prefer us being dressed like Muslim women? Okay. Now, all my Hoteps and Hotepistanis, y'all already know where we stand on this issue, but we're going to come back to that in a moment. I'm going to save my opinion for a little bit later. So, George Alexopoulos, I don't know how to say that shit. Shout out to George. He turned Bryson into a cartoon. Okay, so I saw that on my timeline this morning. Here we have Bryson Gray with the back and forth with Ken Klasick. He says, I just want to point out that self-proclaimed conservatives are upset at me because I referred to a pseudo, can you guys see this? Okay, good. A pseudo soft porn calendar, which includes Christian imagery made to get men to lust after conservative women. Demonic. Kim Klasick continues. She responds, it's absolutely bizarre you are still talking about this calendar that no one is forcing you to purchase or support. You don't like it? Okay, now what? Is Seth supposed to pull it because you don't like it? What's the end goal? Let us know. Help us help you, says Kim Klasick. Now, first thing I want to remind everybody of, why is this happening now? Well, it's quite simple. The Grifties are around the corner. Go to grifties.com. Grifties.com, sponsored by Men of Water. Looking for a sponsor, grifties.com. The Grifties are around the corner. Everybody's making that late run. They see Sticks, Hex, and Hammer. Sticks is up there in the lead, and everybody's jealous. So everybody's making a last-minute run for the Grifties. Don't forget, tickets go on sale soon. Tickets go on sale soon. We're going to have it live, in person. We got Anomaly confirmed and many, many more flying out and hanging out with the Hoteps. Look out for that. Maybe we get Bryson out here. I wonder what it would cost to get Bryson out here. Let's continue. So now that we know why everybody is in a hullabaloo, it's because of the Grifties. They are trying to win the coveted award of the year, the most coveted award of the year, Grifter of the Year. So here he responds. He says, you notice I'm not responding to you. I know y'all are used to this to try to get clout, but stop lying. Y'all are confusing this conversation with the tweet where I said 3 words, stop the cap. She said, I only tweeted you my pic days ago when this first started, so you can see this is not porn. I don't need clout. I have my own. I'm in the calendar, so it's my business. What are you asking to happen about all of this so everyone can move on? And he says, the calendar is demonic. You're endorsing the calendar in its whole. Stop trying to say, well, my picture wasn't like the others then. Stand on the whole demonic calendar. She says, almost all of the pics look like mine. Have you seen the calendar in its entirety? Okay. So we're going to look at the pictures in the calendar in just a moment. We're going to break this whole thing down for you. Sticks has said on stream he's trying to win a Grifty. His community is strong. Sticks is in the lead, man. This might be the second year in a row Sticks wins Grifty of the Year. Let's continue. Next tweet. So apparently, Bryson has gotten into an argument with one of the T people. He says here, you're a T person. You don't want me to say what should happen to you. And they respond, don't play softball, nigger. Tell me how you really feel. Damn. This person says, Abdul, get the rocks. Yo, who needs TV when you got political Twitter, yo? Who needs TV? Somebody tweet that. Who needs TV when you got political Twitter? All right, let's close that. Come back. What else we got in here? So here this is the tweet where he calls the person out for being a tea person. And this is the tweet that they put out. They said, "You two had a meltdown because a libertarian released a calendar. Considering your background, maybe we should take rights away from you too, since your people commit all the violent crime and are eradicating white people. In my opinion, if it were up to me, you'd be on a boat to Africa." Wow. Yo. Yo. Yo, what is going on? I leave the internet for 3 days and this is how y'all acting? This is wild. So they got the T people in on the white identitarian grift too? Leave no grift unturned. Oh my God. This is crazy. I want to frame this tweet right here. This is a really good tweet. It's a good tweet because it encapsulates so much. First of all, it's a T person with an American flag in their bio, verified, mentioning libertarians about a calendar, being completely racist and practicing white identitarianism. Nothing quite describes Twitter in one tweet like this. This is wild. Let's go on. This still up too. This has not been deleted. This was tweeted at 4:46 a.m. this morning. Still up, chilling. No warning or nothing. There's no there's no you know how they usually put like a sensitive content warning on these things? None of that. All right, let's go back. Wait, hold on. I need that tweet. Hold on, let me bring that back up. This is insane. So that tweet was about putting you on a boat going back to oh no, it was that. Okay, no, we don't need that. Okay, let's go here. So it looks like a now deleted tweet from, or is it up? No, it's there. I'm sorry. I think it's just not showing because she blocked Bryson. Kiyoshi Taka says, "This is what you started. Your people now harassing and attacking her. I don't see you calling this behavior out. You're absolutely disgusting. Excuse of a man. You are the epitome of why Christian hate and racism towards blacks still exists." Damn. So Bryson is why racism towards blacks still exists? Oh my God. Yo, the intellectual leaps and bounds. Bryson said, "Where do I call in so I can debunk these foolish arguments?" Bryson, hold on. Let me finish this segment. Somebody get Bryson a number. And Bryson, text that number. Steph just gave you the number. Text that number, and I'm going to call you at that number. Whatever number you want it to be, call me from that number, or text that number with a number, and I'll call you at that number. We'll talk right at the end of this segment. The redheaded libertarian says Bryson is 100% responsible for his fans stalking me. Here is the evidence. He needs to shut it down. Now, I want to talk about that really fast. Is an influencer responsible for their followers attacking someone? Sometimes, like when they direct people to, but you're not responsible. Like sometimes I respond to people and it's like publicly, and then my followers go and attack. I don't tell them. I'm not responsible for every weirdo that follows me. You know what I'm saying? And I guess you can publicly condemn it, but it's just kind of like, you know, if you said some weird shit to me and one of my followers says some weird shit to you, it's just like, it's par for the course. Like, I'm not about to sit here and apologize for people I don't even know. So that's kind of weird to me. He said, y'all are the most victim-minded people on the internet. You haven't gotten enough clout. I thought you won. Also, I want to add that we, as influencers, sometimes we are cognizant of what our followers can do, and sometimes we're not. Like sometimes I see a tweet and I go, all right, I can't respond to this publicly because I know the type of people that follow me. and I really just want to spare this person. And sometimes I look at a tweet and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to serve this up to my followers. Just because, entertainment value, right? And it doesn't mean that my followers are going to always act maliciously. It just means that there's going to be endless humor. So he says, your fans are stalking my old tweets, but you don't see me blaming you for it. I know you're a woman, but control yourself. Can I speak to your husband? Now, I like that from Bryson. This should be his response going forward to all women. It should just start with, I need to speak with your husband. Where is your husband? Because I'm not arguing with women on the internet. I like this. I like this spin from Bryson. Bryson, that's a good idea. That's what you got to stick with, bro. Let me speak to your husband, because honestly, women, if you got a husband, you shouldn't be on the internet. Then there's another tweet here, Shot and Chaser. I guess this is from Anna Perez has hopped into this argument some way, somehow. I guess she agrees with Bryson. It was Bryson and her versus the internet. Says nothing about this calendar is Christian or conservative. Sick of the grift. Either further the movement or get out. The next screenshot here says, creepy of you to sexualize a picture clearly not meant to be sexualized. As they point out, too much cleavage for a moral Christian girl. We're going to come back to this. Cleavage, length of skirts. We're going to come back to that. Okay. And now we've come back here. All right, let's go to this article. Now, I went to go do my due diligence. And before I give my opinion on all this hoopla, I just want to cover some groundwork really fast. So the person here says, this is written by Rachel Delgudis for dailysignal.com. It says here, we don't need a conservative version of Sports Illustrated's celebrated swimsuit edition. But selling a collection of sexually explicit photos of women, even if the proceeds go to worthy causes, isn't the way to go about it. And conservatives representing a movement that is pro-life, pro-family, and pro-civil society should never be inviting lust in any way, shape, or form. Okay. Just want to lay that groundwork out before we dive into my opinions about this debacle. Now, before I even dive into this opinion, I need my Hotepistanis in the chat. Hotepistanis, let's see how well you know the rules and regulations of Hotepistan. Is the conservative calendar allowed, the conservative dad's calendar, the one with the women, is that allowed in Hotepistan? If it is not, I need you to let us know. If it is, I need you to let us know in the chat. Let's see what the Hotepistanis in Hotepistan, before I give my opinion on this, let's see what the chat says. Is that calendar allowed? I need to see thumbs down and thumbs up to make it very simple. Thumbs down if the calendar is not allowed. Thumbs up if it is allowed. Hotep Yatusabe says haram. Descendant Loki says nope. AK Kamara says haram, not allowed, negative. Nope. Put the hijabs on. Leave it in. Banned, says Steph Colonel. He says if they all have hijabs on, says Jay. Nas Williams says no, soft porn is still porn. If you put, Goldstein gonna call in. If you put a thumbs down, you know the rules and regulations of Hotepistan very well. This calendar is haram. It's haram. Now let's dive into this a little bit. Let's add some nuance to this argument because we don't live in Hotepistan yet, not yet. We live in America. Now, first thing I want to say is to Seth Weathers, fucking great marketing stunt. Fucking. And I didn't realize the gravity of it until I Googled this story. I actually Googled this. I typed in conservative dads, real women of America. And 6 days ago, Fox Business actually covered this. Fox Business, anti-woke beer company. Hold on, let me fix this on your screen. So this thing, the calendar actually came out a lot longer ago, I guess, or there was a press release that went out. And it says conservative dad beer, December 7th, December 8th. So, they're doing the damn thing over there at, now real quick, just so we know, this is ultra right, right? So the ultra right, this is the beer grift. Okay. This is the beer grift. And this beer grift comes off of Bud Light getting canceled, right? So Bud Light gets canceled. Seth Weathers sees an opening in the market and says, America needs a new beer. So he decides that I am going to combine politics and beer, right? It's called ultra right. Okay, so this is a red-white grift, grifting off of the red whites, grifting off of white conservatives, right? And I don't think you can really hate on the concept of the ultra-right beer. I don't think you can. If it's a beer for conservatives, then it's a beer for conservatives. Now, with that being said, and giving him his props for this great marketing campaign of releasing a calendar, I have to say this. So, in natural beer fashion, alcohol fashion, matter of fact, anybody remember? So I'm my dad's from Jamaica, so I'm half Jamaican, right? And we used to have these posters up in the men's room, in Jamaica, of Jamaican girls, etc., etc. And they always had here we go. Here's one. Here's one. This is fairly recent. This is the one I'm looking for because the one I'm looking for came out in the 80s. So, probably don't have that. I'll probably have to just, so here, look at this. So, it's common, and you guys don't need any reminder of this. It's common for alcohol and women advertising to go together. So this is Ray and Nephew, and, here they have the nude or lewd women. Okay. Sorry for the spelling mistake earlier on Twitter. For those whose feelings I was hurt by my spelling mistake. So conservative dad hasn't exactly reinvented the wheel. He's just following in the footsteps of a beer company, of an alcohol company, right? And also alcohol is haram and is not allowed in Hotepistan. Let's continue. So with that being said, he started a beer company, and this calendar is very much in the sphere of beer and alcohol. Okay? Very much so. However, the fact that it's a political company motivated by politics, specifically conservative, adds a little bit of nuance to the conversation. Now we have to look at the images. Now Seth has been tweeting them. Let's see if we can find these images, and let's bring these images up and see how appropriate, inappropriate these images are. Okay? And then we'll dive into the details. So here is Ashley St. Clair. This is one of the images from the calendar. Okay. What does this say? This is giving Marilyn Monroe. Everybody knows Marilyn Monroe is a white lust goddess. That's what she is. She's a sex symbol. A white sex symbol. And I think Marilyn Monroe is very attractive, but we know what she was selling. She was selling sex. Okay. So first thing, here's Kim Klacik. And I did put out this tweet earlier. I said, because I like to have fun, right? And I sent Kim Klacik a text first. I asked for her permission. I said, Kim, do you mind if I post this picture? I'm going to make a joke on the internet. Do you mind if I post this picture of you in a bikini? And she says, which one? And I told her, and she said, no problem, Brian. It's fine. Okay. So I said, no one is saying this, but I know everyone is thinking it. We have to cancel Seth Weathers for not including this image of Kim K. That's downright criminal. And it is criminal. I mean, we got all these white women up here. You know what I'm saying? showing mama what they working with. But then the black woman, looked like she submitted this photo. Was this Seth? I know you're watching, Seth. Seth, was this photo taken by your team? Did there was a photo shoot, or did she submit this? Because I need better production on my black queen in this. If you're gonna turn my black queen into cultural Marxism, we're gonna have to do better than that. Okay. Here's another example of some cultural Marxism. Riley Gaines. Posed in a bikini for the beer brand, right? Then we have this photo here of Peyton Drew. I'm not sure who this woman is, but another one quite clearly selling sex, right? Clearly selling sex, okay? Then here's the photo that everybody's talking about, right? And it has two images of the cross. One is directly behind her, and then one is actually reflected in the microwave, the reflection of the microwave. So we have a cross there and a cross here. And this is what got Bryson upset, because you've now mixed God with lust. And I got to tell you, Bryson's right. You have mixed God and lust. Now people say, oh, but she's fully dressed. She's dressed like a vintage woman. Now, I do want to say this. This ain't no vintage look. Let's go to Google and let's type in vintage wife photo, I guess. Okay, let's go to images. Vintage 1950s. Let's just type in 1950s wife or just 50s wife. All right, and let's pull up the images we got here. And I think the main difference here, now, if I get canceled for speaking on white women, this is, y'all know why, okay? Black man not allowed to speak on white women, but here I am. So let's look at the dress, all right? Let's look at the dress. So what we see is the length of the dress. This is past the knee, okay? What else we got here? Here's another one, past the knee, right? Even though that one's newer. Here's a classic one. All these dresses are past the knee. Now, once upon a time, somebody would have looked at the women in these photos and said, haram, because she's showing ankle. Because at some point, you weren't even allowed to show the ankle. But if you know anything about the Fabian socialists, they move like turtles, little by little. So first, it starts off with, oh, it's just a little ankle. Oh, it's just a little calf. Where is it? Oh, it's just a little thigh. Oh, it's just a little thigh. Before you know it, well, you guys know where this stuff leads to. So, no, this is not a vintage look. It's not even remotely close to a vintage look. The skirt is way above her knee. So this is not a vintage look. And I'm not saying that to disparage Josie the redheaded libertarian. I'm saying that to keep things factual, to keep things objective, because that's what we do on this show. We do objectivity. Okay? Objectivity. If anybody knows that, what that means, okay? So objectively, this is not vintage, okay? She appears to be cooking some, I don't know, what's this, casserole? She's cooking something. But again, yes, you've conflated the cross with lust, because I got to be honest with you, this is selling lust. It is. It is. They wouldn't allow this shit in Saudi Arabia. They wouldn't. Here's another image here. Ashley St. Clair in a bathtub. This image is selling sex. She looks great. She looks phenomenal. I'm not going to say these women, look bad or anything like that. I'm not going to say they're hoes or OnlyFans or anything like that. I'm not going to say that. However, I will say that's the next step. The conservative OnlyFans. I think it's already started, but it's going to be a thing. Conservative OnlyFans is the next step, right? I don't know who this person is. And this is a rather tame photo. They got the black woman in a rather tame photo, right? Now, the issue here is this word: conservative. 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 Is this conservative? This is not conservative. I have to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta be honest with you. It's not conservative. It's not conservative. And I know people are saying, oh, but it's not that bad. And it's like, well, not that bad is how America got to where it is now. Beer companies, alcohol companies, and they talk about this in the Quran, where America is the one place where they use the woman's body in its lewd and nudeness to sell things. In this case, to sell alcohol. In an Islamic country, this is extremely haram. And Islam is the most conservative of conservatives, right up there with the Amish and the other group of people. Who is it? Amish and the, y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay? This is haram. This is not conservative. Now, I'm not saying they shouldn't sell the calendar. I'm not saying they shouldn't sell beer. I'm not saying they should be canceled. All I'm saying is this is not conservative. It's just not. Now, is there a place in today's society for this? Well, yeah, in today's society, but that's not saying much. Today's society is full of lechery and debauchery. And yes, this is tame in comparison, but it's right in line with all of them. And what is this book back here? I know that's not two volumes of the Bible in the back right there. It's two books right here. I hope that's not the Bible, because Bryson gonna lose it if that's the Bible back here. Y'all see that? They done threw two books back here. I don't know what books these are, but hopefully it's not the New Testament and the Old Testament. That would be wild. That would be absolutely wild. Hold on. Let me close this. So, two things. Not conservative. It's not exactly Christian either. When Bryson says it's demonic, I wouldn't use the word demonic. I would say it's not Christian. It's definitely not Christian. But lust is one of the 7 deadly sins. It's the opposite of the 7 virtues, right? It just is. Like, these are the facts of the matter. Now, I follow Seth. I'm not going to cancel Seth. I'm also not buying no calendar of white women, but I think this product is going to sell well. I'm a businessman. I know marketing. I know business. And this calendar is going to sell really well. Men of Order would never do this. Men of Order would not sell this calendar. Okay? Men of Order would not sell this calendar to people. menoforder.com would not, we don't sell sex on our website. Because we know that men already have a problem saying no to sex, saying no to masturbation, saying no to pornography and OnlyFans. So we would not push more of it, and we have not done so since the inception of the website. We don't post, thirst traps on our site to get clicks. We could easily do that and get mad clicks, but we don't do that. We've chosen not to as a philosophy. But I guess when you sell alcohol, you gotta sell sex with it. Those two things go hand in hand. Sex and alcohol go together. Alcohol and sex go together. Alcohol and lust go together. Irresponsible use of alcohol is haram. We're gonna get Bryson on the phone. Hold on. We're gonna get Bryson on the phone. Where is he? Hold on, let me open up the app. Bryson, call in. Somebody give Bryson a number. I don't see it there. Okay. Yes. Please get them likes up. So I don't agree with a full out war on a timeline behind this. I think the honest approach would be to say, yo, Bryson's right, but we not canceling the calendar. Right? That would be the honest take. You know? And I think Bryson has every right to provide criticism. You know, he's very much a Puritan, right? He's a purifier of his culture, of his Christian culture. And you need people like that. You need people that are going to keep the culture super pure. Otherwise, you slide down this slippery slope of compromise. You compromise this, you compromise that, little by little till you have nothing left. And this is how the West became what it was, is because you've compromised your religion little by little over time. Little by little, you've compromised your religion. So somebody has to pull it back. And you got to look at the people on your side. You got to look at conservatives, right? You got to clean your house before you start trying to clean up other people's house, a.k.a. the left or communists or whatever it may be. Clean up your own house, then you go out and try to help people clean theirs. And I think that's what Bryson's trying to do. He's trying to clean his own house and saying, y'all running around claiming y'all Christian, right? Claiming y'all Christian, but you got, you know, where is it? No. You got images of the cross and with the lust. And I think you got to be honest and say the calendar does sell lust. Can we be at least be honest and say the calendar sells lust? Can we do that? Bryson is right there in the chat, bro. Steph just posted it. It's right there. We're going to get Bryson on the line. Hear from Bryson. I'm going to argue with Bryson just for the sake of arguing. But, you know, I can see why Bryson's upset. You got the cross right here twice. It's got a leg kicked up. Now, this is not overly sexual. But if you go to the 1950s, oh, this is overly sexual.
Call from
Bryson Gray.
Bryson Gray, welcome to the channel. What up, man?
What's happening?
What's good with him? What's good with him, man? So you done kicked the nest. You done pissed off all the red whites. And I see you just can't let them live. You can't let them have a calendar.
Just to be clear, there's like a bunch of fake news surrounding it, surrounding the calendar situation. If anybody follows me, I call something demonic at least once a week.
This is true.
Because a lot of things are demonic in America. And before I get to the calendar itself, we got to understand what demonic means. Demon just means devil. So anything of Satan, anything of the devil, I can call demonic biblically. I think the word demonic sounds more harsh than it actually is. Sin is of the devil. Like that's the entire job of Satan is sin. So lust is one of the worst sins, which means biblically, I can call it demonic. I don't understand the outrage because typically I call people demonic. But see, in this case, I didn't even call the people demonic. I call the calendar itself demonic because its sole purpose, people got to stop lying. The sole purpose of the calendar is to make conservative men lust.
Yes.
That's just what it is. So I said this is demonic. And when you say I don't let people live, I didn't mention redheaded libertarian. To be so honest, I didn't even know that was her on the calendar. I didn't even know Riley Gaines was the person on the cover photo when I said this is demonic. I called it demonic because I saw a half-naked girl obviously arch her back because you're selling sex, and then somebody flipped to the next page, and then you got another girl in a short dress with a cross behind it. And I'm like, are they joking, or is this like, are they serious? So that's why I call it demonic. It was in reference to the entire calendar. Josie tried to make it all about herself because she viewed it as a perfect opportunity to get some of that sympathy clout. And it works, but the issue is typically when Josie tries to pull this off on people, it's never against somebody that's also popular. So she couldn't really take the heat of this situation because she also got a lot of criticism also, which is why she didn't block me and try to say that I'm supporting pedophiles and people stalking her and pulling up old pictures, which I find so funny because Anna, she retweeted somebody pulling up pictures of Anna. But when somebody pulled up her pictures, I guess somebody said that she had plastic surgery. Now she said that's harassment, and she said I'm in charge of it, but the person that did it doesn't even follow me. So she's taking the typical woman route, the typical liberal route, which is okay, I got clout, but I don't got enough. Let me squeeze it for some more, and she's squeezing it to like, oh, I might sue Bryson. Bryson is responsible. That's what she said. I screenshotted it. She said she tried to say some like harassment type stuff and then said she was gonna take legal action is what she said. So, I mean, we know how women do on the internet. When they don't get their way, they run straight to the victim role because it is easier for a woman to play the victim role.
Yeah.
And of course, this drama got the calendar more sales, which I don't care about. Just like with ABL and a lot of these other people. I have not commented on atheists. I don't care what people that don't believe in God think. That's not who I'm talking to. That's not who I'm talking about. They're supposed to like the calendar. Like if you're a secularist and you like the calendar, you're just doing what you're called to do. I mean, I don't really care. Right. But when you add a cross into the calendar, now we're trying to pander to a certain specific group. And even though they didn't do it on purpose, which is hard for me to believe since these photo shoots were professional, and I'm a cinematography person, so I know when I see a professional photo shoot. let's get real.
Yeah. Some good lighting in this photo.
Exactly. Great lighting, by the way. Great lighting.
Yeah.
And so when you do a professional thing like that, and then you try to put Christian imagery on top of it, you're trying to make men lust, and now I'm like, are you trying to get Christian men to also lust? Which is double demonic, but it was demonic even before then, and it's not conservative by definition. I don't understand what the outrage is about. So it's not me creating the outrage. All I said was 3 words. This is demonic. Stuff I say every other day.
Yeah, this is true. So in regard to the conservative beer company, should a conservative beer company exist?
I mean, I don't really think so. I mean, it's really a grift, though. Like, here's the thing. It's like with Kim Klacik. She tried to say, if you don't like it, don't buy it. And I know Kim is your friend, but please shut up. And the reason I say that is because the whole point of that calendar existing, the whole point of the beer company existing is because they didn't just scroll and didn't buy the beer with the Dylan Mulvaney on it. They tried to attack it and criticize it publicly and come out with something against it. So claiming that I can just not buy it and scroll past it is just hypocrisy. Please stop. But a conservative beer company, but a conservative beer company existing, me personally, I don't think so. But
because if it's a beer company, they have to sell sex, no? Especially if it's an American beer. I mean, every single American beer company has done some sort of calendar or lustful content.
No, that's a fact. But here's the difference. You're trying to sell yourself as something different, a conservative beer company. So once you put that word conservative in front of it, you have to either stop calling yourself conservative or work within the guidelines of conservatism. And conservative by definition requires you to also conserve and support traditional values. And half-naked women on a calendar, I'm sorry, but that's not traditional. That's not traditional values. I mean, it just isn't. Like, this isn't something to get angry over, something to get mad about. It's just not conservative. So if you do it under the guise of an American beer company, that would be different. If you would have said a libertarian beer company, I definitely wouldn't have cared. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you're trying to do it under the guise of conservatism, and then you try to toss in Christianity as a little hint of Christianity, it's just, come on, man. He's a pimp.
He's a pimp.
I mean, let's be real. Because I watched some of your thing. You already admitted this whole calendar, even though some pictures are more tame than others, we've already admitted that it was made to sell lust, to sell sex, because of course sex sells. And he paid all of these women to get them at an official photo shoot to take these pictures so he could sell it to men. He's a pimp.
He's a pimp. Damn. Seth is a pimp? Damn. Well, who's he pimping? Is he pimping girls or is he pimping a conservative movement?
That was a great question. Both. I mean, who got paid to take the pictures? Did he not pay women and bring in professional cameras and lighting and bathtubs and bubbles and did he not pay these women to get these pictures on a calendar for men to lust over? I mean, listen, it might not be as bad as other things, clearly, but as bad doesn't mean something is good. So yeah.
Where do we draw the line on, what's conservative and what's not? Because they want to have fun. It's America. I mean, the image of Josie is very tame compared to the rest of the stuff we see online in America, right? And again, you never really mentioned Josie. You were talking about the more lustful pictures in here, so she's kind of like an innocent bystander in all of this. But
she's not innocent.
She's not innocent.
Not innocent, because that was the picture with the cross into it. And Josie, she supports the calendar. She said she stands by the entire calendar. Not only that, I'm so glad you showed dresses of women in the 1950s and 40s, because even her dress was way too short. But if you walk into a church, if she walked into a church with that dress on, even a modern church with that dress on, people will be like, okay, that sounded crazy. And I'm not saying hers is as sexually suggestive as the other ones, but she's not. She wasn't just a perfectly modest dressed woman. The most modest person on there, as far as those, was probably the girl with the two guns, or Kim Klacik.
Okay, yeah, I didn't see the gun girl, but Kim was very modest in comparison. So where are conservatives supposed to draw the line? They're not allowed to have fun and bikini calendars and stuff like that? Or is it just that they need to keep the cross out of it?
See, this is where I'm confused, because my life is super fun. And I don't engage in any degeneracy. I don't think you need degeneracy to have fun. Listen, it's all about what you refer to yourself as. If you refer to yourself as a libertarian, my response is going to be different than if you refer to yourself as a conservative. If you refer to yourself as a liberal, my response will be different. It's about what I'm trying to hold people to the standards that they make. If we treat the word conservatives like liberals treat gender, then what's the point of even using the term at all?
Ooh, if we treat the term conservative like liberals treat the term gender, oh man. That's a tough one to argue. But so it seems like, because you were at AmFest, right? And you went to AmFest,
yep.
And they had, openly gay dude who was cross-dressing. You said that was haram and, should be forbidden, yep. And demonic. Is the right too far left to come back right? Is it gone?
Probably. So part of me says yes, and part of me says no. And AmFest is why it's a struggle. And the reason I say that is because the first time I've even heard about this calendar was at AmFest. All the influencers were coming up to me like, Bryson, have you heard about this calendar? It's disgusting. And I said, no, I haven't seen it, but like at least 10 different popular influencers came up to me about it. Now, of course, they was coming up to me because they know if anybody is gonna say something, I'm gonna say something. So I think they were telling me because they wanted somebody to stand up. Against it. you know what I'm saying? But at that point, I didn't see it. I didn't know who was in it. I didn't know anything about it. Right. But everybody was like, "Bro, this is disgusting." And most of these influencers have not said that publicly, but just trust me. Another thing with AmFest is, I'm not gonna lie, the increase of homosexuals as influencers has risen probably about 40%. It is absolutely crazy. Like almost half of these influencers are gay now. But once again, I'm not saying it to brag, because people keep saying I say it to brag, but I'm saying it to prove a point. When we walk around the main floor at these events, and you've been to these events, so you know what I'm talking about, where all the real people are, nobody is asking the homosexuals for pictures. Like, nobody cares about them. Like, even Rob Smith was just walking past and through so easily without getting stopped for a picture.
Yeah.
But when Chase, when Sovereign Bro was walking around, or I was walking around, we can't step 5 feet without getting asked for a picture. You know what I'm saying? Like matter of fact, when people wanted to eat with me, we had to go to a whole different location to eat, because we knew that if I would have just stayed and tried to eat at the actual event, I wouldn't been able to get through my food. I would have had to take pictures, which is fun, by the way. I always take pictures. But but the whole point is these people only seem like they're getting the best of everything on social media, in my opinion. Because in real life, like, nobody cares about them. So, but you know, but it's just one or two or three events. So this is not I'm not saying this is the, you know what I'm saying, the only sign of something. But from my experience, I think this is just like an internet but not real life thing.
Interesting. So in real life, on the ground, people are trying to stick true to conservative values, but online, it seems to be a different barrier for inclusion.
Yeah, in my opinion. But like I said, as far as like these more liberal people just hiding under the guise of conservatism, they have taken over the right wing space in a more position of power. Like, most of the donors or most of these people that get hired as influencers is typically some homosexual or some woman that's not too Christian and she's willing to get wild and be a whore. It's really these people that are like more likely in these positions.
Is it an op or is it organic?
Nah. At these events, these women really be dressed like whores. So I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
This is organic. Like, just women are like, look, I can become a whore in the right and be accepted.
I mean, well, they do it only amongst influencers. So on the internet, a lot of these people are Christians, whatever.
Okay.
But when you get at these influencer events, bro, it do be hit different. Like, I be so like, because me and Chase were even talking about it. We were there. There's a group of Christians that go to these events, and we have to hang with each other because these other people are doing drugs, fornication, getting flat out drunk at parties, dressing like crazies, and we have to stick with each other because these people crazy.
It doesn't.
You know that to be true too.
I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't never been invited to none of these events. Ain't nobody ever seen me at these events.
Come on, man. Everybody know. Listen, all the people know what goes on at these events, man.
Yo, I never been to one. I never get invited.
I thought you got invited to like one of the first ones. I thought you were like the first people invited to like,
I was part of that first batch, and I never made it. I got cut before it went down.
Okay, I thought you had at least experienced one event, because my first event I was shocked. I was like, "But what they got going on out here?" You know what I'm saying?
I got cut before the event. But anyway, so what is it going to take? Because I was like, we talk about the problems. Let's talk about the solutions. How are we going to clean up the right? Like, because you're exposing this stuff you're talking about. It seems like a lot of pushback from people online. Are you getting more support or more backlash for your criticism around this calendar?
Depends. If you're talking about like the face value on Twitter specifically, then it seems like I'm in the minority. But when you check DMs, when we enter these spaces, when we go to these Twitter spaces, then I feel like the people that's really standing on principle come out and actually I'm gonna just say degenerates, just because that's the opposite side, Christians versus secularists. Let me say secularists to be more nice. Like the secularists are the minorities in the Twitter spaces. And then when I posted my post on Instagram, my comment section, you got like less than 2% of the people in my comment section that's actually pushing back against me. So it just depends on how you're looking at it. But how do we fix the right? I don't think there is no fixing it. I mean, this is how I look at it, right? Libertarians have some overlapping values with conservatives, and classical liberals have some overlapping values with libertarians and conservatives. That don't mean we have to join and band together for everything. Because earlier on, I feel like people did their own thing and got the people they got, and everybody just worked on their own, but it led people to a similar place. I'm not joining hands with homosexuals and future conservative OnlyFans girls. I'm just not. I'm not telling you to not promote whatever you want to promote.
Right.
I'm just not with you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm over here promoting the Christian values, and that's what I'm doing. And that has some overlap. And then the second thing is, which I don't think gonna happen, but like I said earlier, people look conservative is the cool thing to call yourself. You know what I'm saying? I feel like libertarianism, like being a libertarian is starting to be cool, the cool thing now, but for the past 4 years, it's been cool. I call yourself the conservative gay, the conservative tranny. You know what I'm saying? And this is what people like. And this is what people like to call themselves. But words have definitions. You're not a conservative, like because that's part of the argument is everybody's calling themselves conservative. Like ABL, he was in a space and he was like, I believe myself to be a conservative based on what I think it is in my mind. I'm like, wait. The word has a definition though, and I keep asking people, find me any definition of conservatism in America that doesn't require you to conserve the traditional values of that country you're in. There isn't one. That definition doesn't exist. So you have to make it up on your own. And that's another part of the problem.
It seems to me that if you're going to do the OnlyFans thottery, you should probably slide into the libertarian grift because they believe in, pretty much, and I'm saying this loosely, but anarchy, right? So, they're not going to judge you. They'll probably even buy your OnlyFans over there in the libertarian grift. But it feels like, from where I'm sitting, that cultural Marxism has invaded all of America, and conservatives just tolerate a lesser version of. So what we're looking at here is really, like Michael Malice says, liberals driving the speed limit, progressives driving the speed limit is what we look at here. I think if we were to fast forward 10 years from now, I don't think you'll be able to tell the difference between a conservative and a liberal today.
Well, you already can't because if you talk to most conservatives, they say, I'm conservative because I support individual liberties, which I find like hilarious. If you look up the definition of liberal and then look up the definition of conservative, the one overlap of both is supporting individual liberties. So people forget it was a conservative trying to ban rock and roll and the conservatives trying to ban rap music, and it was a liberal supporting it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the one overlap of conservatism and liberalism. But the thing that separates both is liberals, they're willing to do away with traditions for new ideas. That's a literal definition of liberalism. Conservatives, we're like, no, we have traditions here. We want to conserve it. So that's literally what differentiates you with the two. As far as being a libertarian, yes, libertarians would clearly support a calendar like that. You would get no pushback. If that calendar was called a libertarian calendar, I promise you I would not have commented on it because I don't care what libertarians do. I just don't care what you do. Like I don't go around. Like ABL tweets a lot of things I disagree with, but I accept ABL for what he is. He isn't a Christian. He's a secularist. So like, you're cool. You have some good taste on other things. I can see. You know what I'm saying? So the difference is when a Christian comes out and say something, everybody's mad at me. This drama only lasted over 72 hours because everybody is upset at me. Not the other way around.
Damn. Shit. I don't know, Bryson. I don't think we're gonna make it. I don't think conservatism is gonna make it. It's just gonna be y'all and the church folk, man. I see the work you're doing over there. You're doing great work. I heard the last few records that came out. Played them on the channel. Really good work. Like to see you doing that. And keep calling motherfuckers demons. I don't always understand it, but I like it.
Like I said before, man. People overhype the term demon. You know what I'm saying? Demon literally just means devil. Like that's the definition of it, or a worker of the devil. If people want scripture, if you go to the book of 1 John, not the Gospel of John, it's 1 John, so it's post gospel. If you go to chapter 3 of that, it literally tells you what Satan is. Satan pushes sin. He's been doing it from the beginning, and then it literally tells you this is the difference between a child of God and a child of Satan. I mean, it says it like that's what it says verbatim in the scripture and context. Yeah. So
yeah, I mean,
anything sinful.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't, like when you called it demonic, I wasn't just like, I wouldn't disagree with that. I think, what it is for me is I got PTSD because I saw a conservative influencer stand next to another man, and that man had his leg cocked up way in the air. And then I seen somebody else called, I think, Lady Liberty or Lady MAGA, and it was a man in a dress. And I saw this stuff a few years ago, and I said, well, if y'all accept this, what makes y'all how do you accept that, then fight the gender war at the same time? I didn't get that. It was kind of weird to me.
Listen, anybody can go back. Go type in Lady Maga Bryson Gray. I called him out in real life, and I called him demonic in real life and on the internet. I am very consistent with what I call demonic.
Real Bryson Gray, Lady Maga. Let's see what pops up here. Yeah. Fact check, true. He said, if Lady Maga is on your team, then I'm not on your team. If Blair White is on your team, then I'm not on your team. I'm a Christian, or in better words, a Christian that actually believes in the Bible. Lord have mercy. 2021, somebody said, Real Bryson Gray just called out Rob Smith, Lady Maga, and other Connie and grifters on his new album, So Based. Oh, boy.
You see what I'm saying? In that album, I called them children of Satan. So I've been very consistent with what I call demonic, man.
This is wild. Well, Bryson, thank you for calling in. I appreciate you for allowing me to grift off all of this with your likeness. It's always appreciated. And as always, keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, sir. Hotep and Bill. We're going to go to the phone lines. Text Hotep your name to 202-596-5631. Text Hotep your name to 202-596-5631. I didn't expect to do a whole show on this today. I had other things to talk about, but that just means we got more content for tomorrow, which is good. Happy Kwanzaa, and I'll see you on the other side of this commercial break.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How am I supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock? I have no clue. Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already? He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick? They think they're gonna be able to budget that? It's money. That's money right there, you understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early? He's not tapped in.
We got a super chat over on Rumble. Shout out to Retro Neon. He says, shout out to HJ, the ultimate influencer.
Hotep Jesus.
Appreciate you. We got some more over on the tubes. What the tubes saying? Boris Kofifiovich says, y'all falling into the favorite Bolshevik trap, confusing social conservative with economic conservatism. Happy NY, keep low. The quartering has checked in. Shout out to Jeremy. Jeremy, we be talking about your ass on this channel too, man. Shout out to the quartering. Definitely grifty alum. He says here, shout out to the quartering. Descendant of Loki gifted 10 Hotep Jesus memberships. That's another 10. Shout out to the Descendant of Loki. Rudy on the line. Rudy, what's up, bro?
What's going on, brother? How you doing today?
Life is good, man. Talk to me, man. Is the conservative calendar haram, or we got to let it slide?
All right. For me personally, I ain't had a calendar since I was 15 years old, dude. So I don't give a shit about a calendar, man. That's why you got phones and other shit, man. I don't need no calendar to pin up in the garage. I don't need that. If I get a calendar, it's going to be with some bass on it. But that's just me. That's just me, brother. I don't know, man. I think that the one with Josie with the cross in it, I think that's a little distasteful.
Okay.
I think that's a little blasphemous.
Okay.
But I also I fought with Bryson. I like what he's got to say, but I think everybody is playing the language game, and a conservative in political sense as somebody who's a constitutionalist, who wants to conserve the Constitution, like Scalia, and people who like Clarence and like Gorsuch and Barrett, the ones who stick true to what the words in the Constitution say, and not somebody who calls it a living, breathing document like a liberal would. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that dude that sells that beer, I think he's more on a. I've caught him on the Beanie Man one night. I think dude's just really a Republican trying to rally up Republican support, man. I don't think he's I don't think he's.
You don't think it's an op? You don't think this isn't that bad? You think the calendar is
Nah,
cool?
I
He's
think
organizing
I listen to
conservatives, and it's a good thing.
I just don't think that. I think in this beer called like the right leaning beer.
Yeah, the new right,
like
something like that.
The new right, yeah, something like that. So I would have thrown the right leaning. I would
ultra right.
Yeah, ultra right beer. Yeah, I would have put ultra right calendar or something. I wouldn't have put conservative calendar, but it's also like the language. It's a semantics game, HJ. You know how it is, man. Everybody try to twist the words, man. But when I think of conservative, I think of someone who wants to conserve the Constitution. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When it comes to political sense, man.
Okay.
I don't think of the word because I think religious or a believer is what religious Christians, Muslims, Jews. I think they're believers, man. Right? They walk a right, like Bryson walks a righteous path, man. You can't comment. You can't knock that man for trying to spread the word. That's what Jesus said to do, man. Go out there and spread the word, man. You know what I mean? But he also, he's who without sin cast the first stone, man. And I seen this interview, Rogan on Jelly Roll, man. I seen Joe Rogan and Jelly Roll. And Jelly Roll had a good point when he talks about conservatives, man. Jesus rolled with prostitutes and the poor, man. You know what I'm saying? Those were the ones he was converting first, man. He went to the table and flipped the table. He flipped the tax man's table, man.
Yeah.
And then that got Matthew to flip.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, don't be quick. Like, I don't know. It's just stupid internet drama. Just
I get it.
More division. It's more division, brother. They're sowing the seeds of division.
Yeah.
They're sowing the seeds of division, man.
Yeah.
What the internet does, man.
Yeah. All right. Let me get to the next call. They're going to kill me with phone calls today.
All right, brother. Hotep and Build, man.
Hotep and Build. Let's get Goldstein in here. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be very interesting to hear from Goldstein. I think it's just good. I think it's good grifting. This is good grifting. That's what it is. It's just good grifting. Seth found a hole in the wall, stuck his thing in it.
Call from
Murphy's Law Rescue.
Jeremy from the Quartering, he says it is haram. Goldstein, man, what do you say, man? Is the calendar haram or not?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. Uh-oh.
But here's the thing, all right? As far as your approach, if you're a Bryson Gray, it's all the way fucking wrong and for a reason.
Okay.
All right? Now, politically speaking, he likes to conflate conservatism and Christian values. I don't know why, because Christian values are far older. But he likes to do that. So when he says, if you put conservative in the label, well, then you're out of pocket. I have a problem with it because it's supposed to be upholding traditional conservative values, traditional values of whatever country you live in. Mm-hmm. That's his definition. He said it more than once.
Mm-hmm.
Fact of the matter is, if we were to stick true to conservatism in the way that Bryson would love this country and people who claim to be conservatives should stick to it, his black ass wouldn't be able to sell an album in this country. That's a fact.
That's a fair point. 1 point for Goldstein.
Now, if you want to stick to the religious aspect of it, forget the political aspect of it, because there's a lot I could say about that. I tend to be in lockstep with him to some degree when it comes to the political aspect of this, because conservatives are always saying one thing and doing a whole fucking nother. And I stay on their helmet about that type of shit. Pause.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to the religious aspect of it, that's where I completely break ranks with him. Because as a Christian, which is what he says he is, there's a certain way that you are mandated by the Bible to approach these types of things. And he does the exact opposite every time he gets a shot at it. First and foremost, if you want to castigate people for this calendar, that's cool. If you perceive them to be Christians, there's a mandate on how you go about that. Matthew 18, verses 15 through 17. Right? It specifically
Matthew 15 through 17?
Matthew chapter 18, verses 15 through 17.
Okay.
All right. It says, if your brother or sister, talking about your Christian brother or sister, sins, you go and point out their fault just between the two of you. If they listen, you've won them over. But if they don't listen, take another one or two sisters or brothers along with you, so that every matter may be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. If they still don't listen, you tell the church. And if they refuse to even listen to the church, you treat them like a pagan or a tax collector, which is you don't associate with them. You just banish them, basically. You know what's missing from there?
What?
Going on Twitter and castigating people in public. You know why it's missing? Because it's not supposed to happen. You go to these people in private. You know them. You have their DMs. They're open. You have their personal numbers in some instances. You know them. What you don't do is you don't get on Twitter, virtue signal, and clout chase your damn self by trying to step on other people. Why is that? Why is that important? Because if you look at the other verse that says, what business is it of mine to judge those outside of the church? Are you not supposed to judge those inside? God will judge those outside. All right? You won't be able to hear, they won't be able to hear you if you're just on Twitter embarrassing people, talking crazy about people, calling them names. 2 Timothy says, don't have anything to do with foolish and stupid arguments, because you know they produce quarrels. And the Lord's servant, and if you're listening, Bryson, pay close attention to this part. The Lord's servant must not be quarrelsome, but must be kind to everyone, able to teach and not resentful. So if you're going to be super Christian, you're going to be that guy. Follow the whole book, not just the parts that you like, and don't exclude the parts that step on your hustle. Follow the whole book, because you should be spending less time on Twitter and more time, if you're going to spend it on Twitter, at least more time telling people what they should be doing instead of telling people what they shouldn't be doing. It's like when people have political philosophies, like they spend more, like Republicans spend more time telling you how horrible Democrats are, and absolutely zero time about what they have to offer.
Yeah.
That's the same shit. Spend more time telling people about what your kingdom, what the Messiah and all that has to offer them, less time talking about how much of a piece of shit they are. You get more ants with honey.
Yeah. What about the ladies? Are the ladies involved in this excused? Or are they doing something, should they be criticized? Are they participating in debauched culture?
They can be, just not by people of the church. That's not their role.
Right.
That's not the church's role in all this. The church is supposed to be saving souls. You let too many of them get by you when you're out there just talking about the hem of some lady's dress. Because at the end of the day, you help them sell more calendars than had you just done the right thing.
That's true. That's true. He definitely helped him sell some calendars, because I wouldn't have heard about this calendar if it wasn't for Bryson. I thought Bryson took a check from the company.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why the Bible prescribes a certain way that you deal with the heathen, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
Because all you tend to do is, if you don't follow those ways, you just tend to enlarge Satan's empire, his hold over people.
I meant to ask Bryson that too.
He said it himself. He said if she would have walked into a church wearing that dress, they would have felt some type of way about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for that very reason, that's why women who wear those type of dresses don't do too much walking in churches. Because they already know what to expect. So if they're on the fence and looking for a better way, but they already know what to expect from y'all, I'm just going to avoid it altogether. You were more welcoming to that type of shit, like you're supposed to be, like Rudy said. Jesus ate with the prostitutes. You know what I mean? If you took the time to do that more often instead of just, ew, that's horrible, you're vile, maybe you'd save more souls.
All right, let's change gears here really fast. Is this a grift? Because
absolutely,
I've seen some of the ladies on here tweet about dressing modestly and being conservative, and then here they all have naked. What does that say about these ones? Does that say that they can be bought and sold? Does that say that, no, maybe this is, for the good of the right? Or does it say, hey, for the right price, I'll be your wife?
It says that they're hookers.
Oh, shit.
It says that they are willing to sell their body, albeit not to the degree of an OnlyFans chick, because that seems to be the argument that they fall back on.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that bad. You're still a hooker. You're just a milder version of one. That's it. You're selling your body. You're selling what you have physically to pimp some goddamn calendars out. Now, to who and to what and to why, I don't care. And it's a hell of a grift, because that's the world we live in. Right? But don't sit back and try and be like, well, nah, it's okay. Nah, it's not okay. It is what it is, but it's not okay.
So they shouldn't be selling, because we can agree this is lustful, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So they shouldn't be selling this stuff to other conservatives, right?
Precisely.
Why?
And see, I don't claim to be the Christian that Bryson claims to be.
Right.
So I can take these stances.
Right.
Right? Yes. They're selling that shit to people who they probably shouldn't be selling it to. You know what I mean? Like you said, who are probably already struggling with sex addiction and things of that nature and trying to work it out. The last thing you should be doing if you claim to be that person again is trying to tempt people down that road. This is a hard road. Huh?
So what does this say about the right and where the right is going if they are going to criticize the left of, being lustful, and then they themselves practice lustfulness? What does it say about the right and where the right is headed?
I don't think they're so much headed in that direction. I think they've always been there. Right? But here's the thing about evil is it can package itself in a variety of different ways. Satan disguises himself as an angel of light sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just as evil. And conservatism, liberalism, politics in general are of the world. They are of the world, period.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter what they say. You can always tell a tree by its fruits.
Mm-hmm.
So even though you take the opposite stance of what you have deemed to be evil and liberal. And if you're a liberal, you take the opposite stance of what you have deemed to be evil and conservative. Both of you are serving the same master if you are worshiping at the altar of politics. So it's no surprise that eventually, you know what I mean, the cloaks get lifted, no matter from what perspective. And so to see them do this is not no huge surprise, just because everybody's screaming about heaven ain't going there. You know? So
somebody in the chat says, I have no issues with this. What do you make of someone who claims to be Hotep and then claims to be conservative and then says, hey, I have no problem with this? What is going on with that mind?
If you claim to be conservative and have no problem, fine. If you claim to be Christian and have no problem with this, then you're out of pocket. Because again, Christians are not conservatives and conservatives are not Christians. They're two very different things.
Okay.
I think that's part of the problem in this country is we like to conflate the two. You know, the conservatism is not Christianity, and Christianity is not conservatism. Once you start doing that, then the devil gets lost in the details at that point.
Right.
And so, if you're a Christian or a conservative and you claim to be a conservative and you all for this, so be it. It is what it is. If you claim to be a Christian and you're all for this, you see nothing wrong with this, you're out of pocket with your book. You need to get in line with your creed.
So conservative, it's like, okay, I get it. If you're a Christian, it's like, oh, nah, you way off.
Yeah.
Got you. That makes sense. Well, as always, Goldstein, the voice of reason. Appreciate you, bro.
Indeed, man. Hotep and Bill.
All right, let's get the quartering in here. Quartering, hit that number, call that number, call in here. We got the quartering waiting in the wing. Andrew R15, thank you for the $10 super chat. Appreciate you. Says the idea of people bringing up judge not and ye will not be judged. And Jesus preaching love isn't the point. It's very prideful in his tweets, and it says in the Bible, God hates a prideful man. Sounds like attacks against Bryson. Damn. Everybody throwing the daggers at Bryson. Hold on a second. Okay. So here we go.
Call from.
That's Jeremy.
The quartering's on the line. Hey, Jeremy, what's up, bro?
Oh, man, how are you doing?
Life is good, man. What's going on, man? You support the calendar or not?
Well, it's clearly a grift, so I definitely support that aspect of it because this whole, the left, really, and the right, they hide a lot of bull behind this for charity crap.
Okay.
10% of the sales is irrelevant when you're selling something like a calendar, which has wildly high margins. Like I literally used to work for a big calendar maker, and a calendar costs maybe 20 cents to make.
Okay.
If you're doing weight, maybe he's paying $2-3 or whatever. But
right.
I think that they're using the charity aspect for it to hide the fact that it's just a grift. All this guy does is grift off the right. I don't have any problem with it, but
that
I
sounds
think
like shots fired, right? You just said Seth is a grifter on the right.
Well, yeah, it's all the same. Give me a break. Ultra, it's the same thing. Like people say, oh, leftist tears, coffee, and like these people are more interested in making money off a political movement than backing it. And I don't think the calendar is harming anything, but I can tell you, any one of these women that were in it better not have tweets from the past where they're whining, complaining about the left doing this stuff. There are a lot, and I'm not calling anyone out particular in the calendar, but the conservative thought is a real thing. It's not just on the left. It's extremely profitable to be moderately attractive and be on the right. And
the conservative thought. Okay.
Yeah, these you know, a lot of these folks, they don't care about the movement as much as they care about enriching themselves. You know, I'm an Instagram model, but I am shooting a gun at some Bud Light. Like, get out of here. I don't think the calendar. So if any of the individuals have tweets like that, then I'd say it's hypocrisy for them. But I don't think someone like Riley Gaines has ever held that position, for example. I know that Bryson and the redheaded chick, whatever, are going at it. I don't know if she's got historical tweets, you know, saying, you know, calling things degenerate or calling women whores. If she does, you know, then that looks kind of suspect.
So
I'm all for Seth getting his money, by the way. You know, I don't care, but I see right through it. You know, $20 for a 6-pack of beer just because it says ultra right on it. Like, give me a break.
So
get your money. That's fine.
So how do we tell the difference between somebody grifting and somebody ethical grifting, right? Because some people would say, yo, quartering, you're a grifter on the right. You be grifting the right. So how do we tell the difference between the two? Somebody who's just in it for the money and somebody who's in it because they care.
Well, I think you build up kind of a sense for it, right? Like, you've been running the grifties a while. You know who the real, you know when it's someone's a real grifter. You kind of just get a sense for it. I think
so you have to have a grift sense.
Yeah, I don't think it's uncommon. Let's say, like, I think it's unfair where people will say, like, well, you used to be a lefty and now you're a conservative. So people change their political opinions. I don't think that's enough. But I do think that I just feel like I can always tell, like, if you money first and you're a product first, it's usually pretty easy to tell. Like, if these, you know, suddenly when people have a quick change in their politics, when it becomes profitable, let's say someone like Candace Owens, for example, I think, I think those.
Hello?
Hey, I'm here.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Last thing we heard was Candace Owens is a grifter. Keep going.
Oh, no, I was just saying, like, it's pretty easy when, you know, you were grifting off some doxing website. Then the red pill stuff became profitable. Now suddenly she's a super devout Christian who's always been super devout Christian and happens to have a 7-figure deal with Daily Wire now, you know, because she's a pretty black girl, and it's extremely profitable to be a pretty woman in particular. You see Fox News, you see who these people are putting on, you know, as their headliners and stuff like that. Pretty women. You go to these like TP USA events where all these, you know, chicks that looks like it's a Instagram meetup or some sort of like, you know, I saw all these selfies. You know, I won't call anyone out in particular, but I saw a lot of selfies of people who were preaching a lot of conventional, and I've been to these conventions, and it ain't nothing but it's anything but conservative. People are getting hammered, doing drugs, sleeping with each other. That happens, and then they get right back on Twitter the next day and say, God is king. Christ is king. I'm like, man, I saw you doing coke in the bathroom and you cheated on your wife, but yeah, Christ is king, buddy. So because I'm in it, I guess it's easier for me to kind of be like, you know, it's a little easier for me because I see how people act when they're not on camera, I guess.
Top 3 grifters you nominate for the Grifties next year. Who you got?
I mean, I like Taylor Lorenz. You know, she's getting kind of up there in age.
Okay.
And, I'd like to see her win one before she dies. She now identifies as disabled. I think that's an incredible grift. I think you got, I'd like to see perhaps, you know, Nick is there, but he's not, Nick Rekieta.
Nick Rekieta, okay.
Yeah, and then I'd like to be. I guess he's just like a de facto guy for me. Okay. Like he did sell the Baldo. Are you aware what the Baldo is?
No.
It's a sexual tool in which you put your testicles in it and use that. So he was selling that. I feel like that's a pretty good
Was that
qualifier.
for sexual pleasure, or is this like a health aid?
It's for sexual pleasure.
What the fuck? He was selling sex toys?
Yeah.
Oh,
So I think
Lord.
that's pretty good. And you might, maybe Seth, he's got his ultra right beer, and now he's got the calendar, which he's just doing for the cause, guys. He's just doing it to help Rival Games with his 10%. So I think that's a pretty strong trio.
I like that. We have to consider them. We're finalizing things for the Grifties now. We're gonna have it live and in person next year. So I can't wait, man. Great picks.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for taking my call, dude. Good to see you online. Good to see you still streaming.
Yes,
Hope your
sir.
health is good.
Absolutely,
All right,
man.
talk to you
What
later.
type of bill? Jeremy from the Quartering on the line. Spicy day. This is the energy we going into the new year with. Yeah, I didn't know he was selling sex toys. That's kind of what. I had sponsors come up to me and ask me, what type of stuff would I sell. And sex toys did come up in the conversation, I think. And I'm pretty sure we said no. Well, I know we said no. But I think, what was it? I think it was something to do with sex. And I was like, it was like that I said no to, and something else that was like really sketchy. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to promote that on my show. We were speaking to, let's get AK in here. We got AK, we got K waiting in the wing. We got wholesome white women. So we're going to get the women. I want to hear from the fellas. Then we're going to talk to the women. I want to hear what the women have to say about all of this. AK, what's up, man?
What up, AJ?
What's good with him, man?
Good show, man. You have a good Christmas?
Yeah, I spent all of my time with the family. The Quartering says he wants to nominate himself. The Quartering, I think you won there. I think you won the Grifties. Let me find you. Hey, listen, are we canceling Seth and the people for this calendar? Quartering is in 35th place.
I say no. I say no. I said we don't cancel. Like, listen, I'm a guy that came to conservatism, if you want to say, through the mud, right? Like, I didn't grow up. I had to educate myself about like what it actually meant, and then I chose to be a conservative, and I live to try and be conservative in my political and in my social values. Like, I strive for it on a regular basis. So I've always had beef when people just like use it so like flippantly, to the point that right now, as absurd as this sounds, if you would have told me this 15 years ago, that being quote unquote conservative is like counterculture cool. And so now everyone's attaching themselves to it that consider themselves, right of center. And then they're just using it to like kind of be their label. And that's the problem, is that if you're going to say you're conservative, I think that actually is supposed to mean something. It doesn't just mean that you are anti-left, or you are, someone that just sides with something that is a right of center political value. Conservatism is supposed to mean something. So when you ask, like, should we cancel them for it? No, because I don't think that their intention
is it haram.
It is haram. It is haram. But I don't think their intention is to like try and lead people away. I think their intention is to grift. Like, Seth Weathers is trying to make money, and his core values, he's not a leftist. So that is true, but I don't think that he's a conservative by any stretch of the imagination.
He just saw an opportunity to grift, and so he decided to grift.
Listen, you can't own a liquor or alcohol company if you are actually a conservative. That's like literally retarded. Like that's like saying, I own a brothel and I'm against sex trafficking. It's like no, man. Like, well, it's legal. I have my papers for it. I'm not out there like on the street. Like, no, man. What you're doing is promoting something that destroys people's ability. Like alcohol, right? Even if used in moderation, like, good for you. Like, I probably drink 2 beers like every 4 months. I don't ever drink by myself. Like, I might have a social drink, but I cut myself off. Again, I try and live intentionally. Like, I don't get fucked up. I don't. Like, I purposely stop myself because when you are fucked up, you do stupid shit, right? You do degenerate shit because it lowers your inhibitions. And so to me, that just kind of cuts the conversation off. But I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to pull back the culture war from the leftists and pull it back to the middle or the right. So I actually applaud that, but we can't combine and like get it all twisted up, because like Jeremy said, the conservative thought thing, that is real, where people are starting to say like, oh, I'm a conservative thought. You can't be a conservative thought. All right. You're just a thought who's right of center. And it's fine. Say I'm a right of center right of center thought. Then say that. Say, well, I'm a thought, but I don't want to abort my child. I'm a thought, but I believe in premarital sex. But I don't want to put gay stuff in front of kids. But you're not conservative. So that's kind of my biggest beef is like, if we want to win, quote unquote, the culture war, this is a way to do it, but you're actually not winning for conservatism. You're just pulling power back from the leftists. And I don't know what you're pulling it to. It's just non-leftists, I guess. And so I applaud that effort because, I think that Marxism is bad. And so if we're pulling it back and we don't know necessarily what we're pulling it to, that's a start. But that to me is like why Hotep in Hotepistan, it finds the nuance, right? It finds the nuance where you're like, let's just call it what it is. That's why in Hotepistan, we're going to be very clearly, this is not allowed. So don't say that you're part of Hotep and then that you're down with the thought shit. Like, we can be cool with you. We can do commerce with you. That's kind of the spirit. But we're not going to be like, oh, you're a Hotep thought. That ain't a thing either. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're Hotep, you're Hotep.
There are, I'm going to go ahead and say it, there's Hotep thoughts out there. They're out there. You can't stop a thought from grifting, okay? but like you said, we make it clear on what we accept and what we don't accept. So you can claim to be a Hotep all you want. Just know that lifestyle is not accepted.
That's right. And so the last thing that I want to kind of just put out there is that, listen, I've been married for 19 years and I'm 39. Okay. So I got into the marriage game very early on. And I've also been involved in politics. Like back in the day before TPUSA existed, I would always go to CPAC. Right. And what Jeremy was explaining, what Bryson was explaining, the type of degeneracy you see on a regular basis from people that are supposed to be these conservative, they say I'm conservative leaders, is absurd. Like I've literally witnessed gentlemen cheat on their spouses where like they're going into a different hotel room with a female and then the next day giving like a speech in front of, on a main stage. And I'm like, that person is grimy. So I see that. And I think
this was
that
at one of the conservative events
at CPAC. Yeah, CPAC? Man. Conservative Political Action Committee.
He went and got some side coochie and then let his speech the next day.
Yeah, it was talking about family values, and the dude's on Fox News, man, and like I see it, and I'm just like, you know what, bro? Like, this is what I mean about intention. In my mind, I'm a nobody in the political scale. No one's paying me money yet to go and talk, but I still hold to my values. Have there been a million opportunities for me to go out there and be degenerate? Yes, and with people that are, whatever, like up and coming or good looking or anything like that, absolutely. But I live with intention. And I think a lot of these people in these spaces, a lot of these heroes that people look up to, don't live their life with intention. They're just kind of like in that moment, and they know that for whatever reason they're gifted with speech or they have a crazy experience, and so they're able to grift off of that, and then they get to say, oh, I'm a conservative. But that's the problem, is that you got to live with intention. And so at the end of the day, man, this calendar, there's not a single happily married man that I know that is actually devoted to a spouse that would be like, yeah, I think this is respectful. I'm going to get this calendar and throw it up in my man cave while my wife, the person I'm supposed to love, if you had a calendar of your wife, cool. Go get a calendar made of your wife if you really want to be a conservative dad. But if you have that degenerate poster hanging up and you're claiming that you're conservative, you're wrong, man. And that's all I got to say. Hotep and build, man.
Hotep and build. That might be an idea. Get a calendar made of your wife for your man cave. I just was not on my bingo card for how we ending the year. It's just, I didn't expect my first stream back from the holidays to be about a conservative thought calendar. Reality just never ceases to amaze me. Excuse me a moment while I check the trending topics here. Still upset we don't have the bikini clad Kim K. I'm really upset about that.
Call from.
Kay, what's up, love?
What's up, everybody? With everything going on, I want you guys to get stacked up on your master focus, especially with this confusion with the left and right going on. Make sure to click the QR code and also get that discount too as well.
Salute.
And with everything that's going on too, I want you guys to look for the book Unbreakable Rules of Masculinity, and it'll tell you what you need to be and what you need to do as a man in this time, and especially as a Hotep man in this time. So look for that book, Unbreakable Rules of Masculinity. And yes, my 20-year-old son even read it.
Let's go. Let's go. Appreciate you.
Yes. So I'm sorry, but everything that I see now from the left and the right, whether you call them liberal, conservative, I don't care, whatever, everything's starting to melt together, and they're just starting to look the same.
So you see it as the same.
Yeah, I do. I see it as both of them have the same grift. I mean, how the hell are you going to have a calendar or something like this, but at the same time telling a girl, oh, she shouldn't be doing this or she shouldn't be doing that or whatever? You know, it's not right. But at the same time, here you are trying to press your flat ass out to look like a fat ass, catfishing people, saying that, you know, it's okay because it's conservative. Why don't you have why doesn't the females of the conservative side have a calendar of how good they could cook their meals and how good they could keep their houses clean? There you go. Oh yeah, I'm gonna call all of them out.
Why you had to talk about they flat asses like that? Damn, yo.
I'm gonna call it out, and people who have seen my Instagram know what my ass looks like. I don't have to push it out.
Street politics with Talesia ain't shit. She just posted a screenshot from my stream where I pointed out, is that a stack of baubles behind the calendar? And as she tags Bryson, you are a shit starter. So you believe this is a calendar should not have been made, and you are against the calendar?
It's like, what for? If the conservative ink side is always talking about, you know, the liberal side is doing A, B, and C, and then how are they going to come out with a beer and a calendar? Oh, you know, some of them are, you know, there's a bikini on the cover. Yeah, marketing to entice people. But it's like, you know, I thought you guys were all for, you know, kind of, you know, the nuclear family and this, that, and the other. And then you guys are trying to promote sexuality just to make a buck or two. I'm sorry. And if some of these women are married, who's your husband? Sounds like a pimp. You know, because most husbands I know would probably not want their women on a calendar being lust after. But, you know, if you're married to a pimp, then, you know, all the more better.
Who's married to a pimp?
I'm just asking.
Who's married to a pimp?
I want to know. Why would if you? I'm just saying, if you're married and you're in that calendar, your husband really let you do that? Okay.
Husband got you in a pinup, that like on some iced tea shit.
Right. And it's like, what else is he gonna put you on? Are you that desperate to make that money?
So,
okay.
So you if he's a pimp, then you're saying that these women are acting like whores.
If the shoe fits.
Oh Lord. Kay, I appreciate you calling in. Always honest as usual.
Hotep and build.
Hotep and build. Lord Jesus, where's wholesome white woman? I need some wholesome white woman in my life right now. Pause. Where's wholesome white woman? We got to hear from wholesome white woman. Hear what she got to say about all this. I should have known the women were going to come spicy because nobody talked about any's body. And I want to point this out for everybody who talks about men and what men do. None of the men that called into the show today spoke about the women specifically, nor their body parts. Just want to put that out there. A woman did. A woman did. And I'm not saying the woman is wrong, but I just like to point out how vociferous women can get. And here's wholesome white woman right here.
Call from.
And she said they had flat asses. Wholesome white woman.
Hello.
How are you judging the calendar? Should it be allowed? Do we let it slide? Where are you at on all of this?
I'm not spending my money on it, and I think that it's something that these people are going to look back on and be embarrassed of. It has big Kanye, don't go saying nothing to be apologying for vibes. Like whatever campaign they're trying to do could have been done differently. They're missing the mark on it. I could tell you that wholesome white woman would not be on that type of calendar.
No?
I would not have showed up if my name was drawn. I would have been, no, thank you.
What if they paid you some money? What if they sent you, they say, yo, wholesome white woman, we got, how much you think? Let's say max you got paid, I don't know, probably $10K for this shoot. Would you do it for $10K?
No.
Wow.
No. Because I kind of have to be with like Goldstein and Bryson on this in the sense where like if we're trying to lead by example and be the change we want to see in the world, we shouldn't want men out here lusting after women that aren't theirs.
Yes.
Or in the case of the women who are married, like I'm with Kay on that. Whoever's husband, yeah, that's embarrassing. That is fucking embarrassing. No. And your husband allowing you to do that? Ma'am, you picked the wrong husband. That's not a man. I don't know what that is, but that's no, ma'am. So it's a very layered thing, but it's so America 2023. Like, I mean, look around. We've got
it is very America, and that's why I'm saying, like, is there some nuance to this conversation, or should Republicans / conservatives hold them to a higher standard because this is very American?
Well, and this is where I think conservatives get messed up and the right in general gets messed up, is to try to hold people to a standard. One must meet that standard, right? Like I can't sit in the comments of Rumble calling the quartering fat boy and telling him to go for a walk if my ass used to be fat and is now not fat because I went for a walk, right? Like if you're trying to be somebody and present yourself as a respectable person who takes life seriously, who wants there to be in America, you can't sit up on camera and be super unhealthy and morbidly obese and expect people to take you seriously. Now, that is, in my opinion, the problem we have on the right in conservatism is you have a lot of people living a certain life thinking that, like, that's okay enough, but knowing that they're making the wrong choices. Right, like the lesser of two evils is still picking an evil. And too many Americans for too long have just accepted the lesser of two evils. No, there is a right and there is a wrong. And in my opinion, this calendar situation is just wrong. It's not the representation of conserving anything. In my opinion, we're not. And the layered irony of it all is we're a constitutional republic, but the only thing everybody ever wants to talk about is our democracy.
Are you familiar with Leanne Starr?
No, I am not.
She does OnlyFans. I got her on the screen right now, and she makes, I don't know, libertarian conservative content, but she's an OnlyFans model. I might have to get her on the channel and talk to her one of these days. Interesting stuff there. Continue. I'm sorry.
In my younger days, I had girls that I worked with who have premium Snapchat, way back in the day, premium Snapchat, that was the original OnlyFans.
Okay.
So, like, one of the girls I know, she made like $10,000 on a Friday for a 3-minute video.
Damn.
But also, that all those people have pictures of her butthole. That's on the internet somewhere forever. A 3-minute video gave you a $10,000 paycheck, but your butthole's on the internet forever.
You know what's interesting is, I'm looking at my timeline now, and I just saw a Bitcoin influencer, and I think, women, it seems like they know what they're doing, right? Where they come around and they show some skin, a little bit of cleavage, and they're able to inject themselves pretty much in an industry, right? So they, become crypto influencers, relationship grifters, whatever, but they lead with their body, and, they add the thoughtness, and they can slide it anywhere. I think that's such a female privilege.
Well, and it's also our stupid lady brains being short-sighted, because in reality, for a short period of time, we have a high value, meaning between the ages of legal reasons 18 and 25, those are our prime, that's when we're most valuable. That's when we're easy, like we could be trained as far as wifery goes. You could train us up real quick. We could pop out babies. It'd be fine. We could bounce back physically. We have a short shelf life. So to some extent, I understand why women do that to themselves. But on the other hand, this is a long game, ladies.
Yeah.
Life is long.
Yeah.
You don't fully realize how long life is until you're 25. But by the time we're 25 now, you have 9 years of freaking cleavage and butthole on the internet.
Cleaving and butthole all over the internet. Lord have mercy.
Exactly. So without an EMP, we ain't about to be grandmas worth respecting.
Well, also, white woman, thank you for your 2 cents, and I appreciate you calling in and setting the world right.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. Keep on.
Let's get Justine in here. Justine, we hearing from the ladies right now. Hear what the ladies got to say. Ladies ain't having a thottery so far. They ain't having it. It's a back and forth, man. How many times y'all went back and forth on the internet? Y'all know the rule in Hotepistan. We not arguing over the internet. We not arguing with strangers. Look at this. Look at this. This is a big old wall of back and forth. My profile picture wasn't sold to the calendar for dads to lust after. Redhead Libertarian says, me neither, and your outrage is misguided. Conservative Dad is the brand. Conservative Dad's calendar denotes ownership of the calendar by the brand. If the calendar were marketed for conservative dads, there would be no apostrophe.
Call from
That's just
Justine.
too intellectual for me. Justine, what's up, love?
Hey.
What up?
What's up, y'all?
What's good,
So-
yo? Where you standing on all of this, man?
Where do I begin? Okay. Let's start with that my main problem is when women or men, right? But in this instance, women cannot just say, hey, you might be right. Okay? And it's this big back and forth. And guess what? You have men who are doing what? Now they're playing the role of women because they want to go back and forth. Instead of standing on something that matters, let's go to the back and forth. So let me just recap. I really think, and I don't want to sound rude right now, and hopefully I'm not being too loud. I'm going to try to slow down. I really don't like how people take things to the extreme and it don't add up, okay? So I'm going to give you an example. When you say they got a flat ass, is that the problem? Because if they got a flat ass and that's the problem, but we can go on Instagram and look at your ass, I don't get it. So I don't want to disregard nobody, but I think sometimes
here we go.
Wait a minute. I think sometimes we need to sit back and say, hey, how am I really judging this? Okay, analyzing this? How am I processing this? Am I coming in hot because you know what I'm saying? For whatever reason. Okay? I'm just using that as an example. I could say with anybody else. Well, booty holes and blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm going to tell you like this. I think we all have our own way of life, our own way of thinking, our own way of living. And it's not up to us to one where we can look at things and say, hey, no, I don't. I know how, for me, I can look at that and say right away, because I'm a weirdo and I can tell you immediately that that's just a seed planted for everybody to try to like either like y'all was talking about, have it a topic of conversation. So now it's in the air, right? Mm-hmm. So now where are we going from here? Now next year or next month is something else. Now it's this, now it's that. So now we're being intertwined into these idiotic, right, conversations when we could all just say, okay, we know that's not going to have the best interest of our youth or each other, you know, in the long run, and, you know, do our best to make the best of it. So I don't know what else.
So you support the calendar?
Do I support the calendar?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. Why would I? I don't care about that calendar. Like, to be honest with you, I never heard of that calendar. And
Are you a conservative?
I don't consider. Well, I'll tell you this. I don't do labels anymore because I'm sick and tired of it. Because labels are our enemy right now. What I will say is most of my values would probably be considered conservative. I don't line myself up. Are you
a Christian?
Once again, it's the same situation. Yes, I do believe in Jesus. I do follow the Most High. I do practice the values that and especially
what's your racial identity?
My racial identity? I'm white and a quarter Filipino.
And a quarter Filipino. Oh shit, white person with a little bit of seasoning. I like that. Okay. All right. So we got pretty much a European here with a little dash of Asian. All right, got you. So you are basically agnostic. You're basically saying, hey, I'm not condemning the calendar, but I'm also not supporting it either. I look at this thing as just a distraction and inconsequential to the grand scheme of things.
Well, I agree with it. I try to look at like the intention, right? And the purpose of why it's there. And then when you start to look at those visuals, right? The cross bothered me big time because it's just right there. It's not, you know, and then when you pointed out the Bible's there, regardless of, I just feel like there's always on either side. I don't care what side people try to pretend like they're on because they barely know themselves, let alone want to come out here and claim to be a part of something that they don't even understand. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I have a hard time with that because it's like, people want to fit in. I don't care who they are in every level, in every area, in every aspect of life. People always just want to fit in. It's like kind of a natural thing. If you were
leader of the conservative Christian segment, would you ban this calendar?
No.
Okay.
No.
You allow it to exist.
You mean ban it from where? Like from the
your
US,
circles?
or?
No, from your circles, from your social security.
I can't ban
shame
nothing
it.
From,
I mean, shame it.
Something for myself. I can't ban anything in a circle.
But you wouldn't shame it from the conservative, if you were, the de facto leader of the conservative circles, you would not outwardly express and say, this is not conservative.
Here's my thing. My circle, we're not going to have that conversation. We don't care about that. Okay.
Okay.
My people, we're literally have 17,000 things to talk about outside of that. Okay.
Would you pose in this calendar?
Would I pose in it? I don't know how much they offering.
10K.
I'm joking. Maybe. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna make
just a bikini shot like Raleigh Gaines here, No, 10K.
I probably wouldn't, but I mean, I don't know. You know what? I'm not gonna sit here and act like a liar and pretend like I wouldn't consider it. I'd have to figure it out.
Okay. All right. I appreciate your call. I appreciate you expressing yourself. Hope to hear from you soon again. Great conversation.
Thank you. God bless. Hotep and Bill.
Hotep and Bill. Here we go. Kay wants to call back in. Kay wants to call back in. You know what this feels like? This feels like White Mike versus Rudy. Black Strong say she for the streets. Yeah, that's the same Justine. That's the same Justine that just called in. It's the same Justine that's a mod on YouTube. Today's show just got a little bit spicier, just when we thought it couldn't. Here we go.
Call from. So are cheeks bad?
Kay, welcome back to the show. What's up, love?
Yeah, so I'm going to double dip with Justine, who just called in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so primero, you talk about how you would probably think about doing that, but it's wrong. But then when I was joking about my comment, you had to say something about my comment. But the thing is, the people who are here for a while know the way we talk. So I'm going to go ahead and let that roll with you. But seriously, you were confusing and all over the place. And the thing is that I was making a statement about how are you going to be conservative and then put this up and then try to compete with liberals and say on the liberal side, no, you shouldn't do this. Why do they look like A, B, and C and all of that stuff? And that was the point that I was trying to make, is how is the conservative side going to say something and then all of a sudden on the other side be hypocritical and like do the same thing for money? And that's my problem with it.
Yeah, I got what you were saying there. I'm glad you're able to call in and clean that up. It did sound like she took a shot at you. Did you feel like she took a shot at you?
Yeah, for no reason. I don't know why. If it's because you want to be in the calendar, go ahead and go for the calendar. You know?
10K,
But
would you,
the thing
10K
is-
for 10K, would you do the calendar?
Why, when I'm making more than that? So why would I do that for 10K? And plus, if I have a reputation to uphold, or maybe I just don't want to do it, i.e., that's why my Instagram is private and I only let select people in. Why would I put
I'm one of your
myself out there like
followers.
that?
I'm one of your followers.
Yeah.
I don't see booty action on your timeline on Instagram. Very little love. So if somebody did see booty on your timeline, I'd love to see it.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
For research purposes. For research purposes.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. But thank you for calling in. Let me get to the next caller, love.
Yeah, well, Hotep and Bill.
Hotep and Bill. Lord Jesus. Oh man, Strong Dad. All right, go ahead, Strong Dad. So we talking about Kwanzaa tomorrow, Strong Dad. So save your Kwanzaa stuff for tomorrow. We going in heavy on Kwanzaa tomorrow. Happy Kwanzaa, emoji, unity, and all of that. But let's hear from Strong Dad in regard to this calendar situation. I'm not sure how much of the show he caught today. Cheeks are not for commerce. Are we sure Justine isn't Kim Klacik? Nah, that was definitely not Kim. I talked to Kim earlier. Oh, I texted Kim earlier. That's not Kim. And me and Kim we spoke a couple of months back on the phone. I know Kim's voice, and she was at HotepCon. That was not Kim. Kim has a very distinct voice.
Call from.
Strong Dad, what's up, man?
What's happening? What's happening? Don't worry, I'm not going to talk about Kwanzaa.
Tomorrow we going
actually-
going in on that. So keep all your stuff ready for tomorrow. We going in on that tomorrow.
I'm actually going to let you just take it in full because I felt like I've said enough. I think it's fucking stupid, the rest of the arguments. I think that you'll...
Wait, say tomorrow. Let's stay on the calendar. Let's stay on the calendar. What's up with the calendar?
Anyway.
Are you purchasing the calendar? Do you support the calendar? Are you canceling the calendar? Should the calendar exist? Where are you at with all of this?
Well, first of all, I'm not purchasing the calendar because I don't need it.
All right.
Plus, you know what I'm saying, ain't enough black women in that calendar for me anyway. What I look like buying a box of vanilla, man? Come on now. Anyway, this whole shit is fucking stupid. This whole shit is fucking stupid. Everybody is bitching about a fucking calendar. We can go down the list of the 100 things people do daily that go against their own morals, but y'all trying to stand on 10 for a fucking calendar is fucking dumb. Y'all will be standing on your fucking Christian conservative morals, and then fucking the church day will be done, and you'll be talking shit about the nigga in the next car, or you'll be on the internet bitching. As far as what are y'all doing? You're not conserving anything but fucking complaining, bro. You're not doing anything. The calendar came out, big fucking deal. How does that fuck up your life, your day? How is that a detriment to your family? It's not, because it doesn't need to be in your house, because that's why things are meant to be purchased, so that you cannot purchase it. You fucking idiot. You're clowns. You're clowns. You're clowns. I don't believe that half of these people believe half of the shit that they say. I don't believe it. Y'all be Christian as fuck and then Christian opposite in a heartbeat. All it takes is 1 second. The whole internet is the internet itself is demonic. What the fuck are you doing on it? Did God say let thou tweet? No, he didn't. Y'all have to stop, man. Y'all have to stop. Let the grifters get their fucking money on a stupid little, half-naked chick calendar. Nothing is going to destroy you. Nothing is going to break you down. Oh, God, the structure of Christianity is falling apart. Nigga, the Pope, all them motherfuckers, all them kid diddlers and all that shit, and this is where you drawing the line? It's weird to me. It's weird to me. If you believe in being a certain caliber of wholesome, prescribe it for your family, your life, and never mind what the fuck other people are doing. It doesn't matter. Now, if the calendar came out and it was like, check out these titties, and it was promoting killing people, that would make some sense. Like, do y'all have a Netflix subscription? Are y'all watching Disney Plus? How many streaming services did you buy? Did you purchase something that is responsible for some sort of slave labor somewhere, but you all mad about a calendar? And this shit is crazy because no solutions, again, get produced. Just more bitching about shit that is inconsequential to our reality, which is the government is fucking us all over, and y'all care about titties.
But it's called the conservative, Dad, and titties are not conservative. This lustful.
Nothing is. They don't know what conservative is. They don't even know what conservative is. There's not one conservative who can give us a legitimate definition of it, because none of you can agree on conservatism. So who cares? If this conservative dad wants to look at fucking Sports Illustrated movies, big deal, bro. Big deal. Guaranteed, most of the people who actually will have a calendar probably have some sort of contracting job or career. So what does it matter? It doesn't matter. And if you're going to stand on your morals on 10 like that, then hold that across the board for every single thing, everything. I shouldn't even see you on Twitter tomorrow, because this whole thing that we do here is gossip. It's gossip, right? We gossip. So I'm just saying, man, like, y'all have to, what is happening? That's all I got, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thanks for the call, bro.
Hell yeah. Hotep and Bill.
Yeah. Strong Dad snap. It's been a minute since we got that Strong Dad on the call. Oh man, let's talk to Nero. We got Nero and then and Tari. Nero and Tari, last two callers here. Let's hear from Nero and Tari. They better come strong. Pause. They better come strong. Pause. And because Goldstein went off, Bryson went off, fucking Kay and Justine went at it. Lord have mercy. Y'all got me wanting to buy the calendar. I ain't even gonna hold you.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Yo, if I had one of those streams where I didn't have a green screen, like it was a room If I had a room type setup, and one day I'm going to have a room type setup, I'm telling you, this calendar would be in the background just for shits and giggles. Everything in the background would be like, you know, something I bought from another conservative or somebody in the grift or libertarian or even a liberal. Like, I probably wear AOC's Tax the Rich hoodie just as a troll. You know what I'm saying?
Nero.
Nero, what's up, man?
What's cracking, cuz?
What's good with it, man? What do you make of all this today, man?
Listen, man. These things they put in the news because all y'all niggas is fucking gang banging, nigga. I'm a Christian. You're all it's an image or an idea that you follow that has a program to it, and they're always gonna inject into the consciousness shit that goes against your program to react you. Okay, all these niggas on the internet are immoral. This system is meant to suck you in, aka go against your programming, get you to emotionally involve your shit on it, and produce energy. This shit is fucking chemical reaction in this motherfucker. Stop falling for it over and over and over and over.
Energy
and
grifting.
over. You feel me? And niggas need to stop acting like they don't like titties. You here because somebody in your family saw another person who became your family and liked they titties. The fuck? God created titties, nigga. God created pussy, nigga. What the fuck is wrong with you? He also created nature, and you see how immoral nature is, nigga. Even if you got rid of all the sin in the world, nigga, guess what? What an antelope do? That nigga getting jacked up right now. Getting fucked up. Y'all niggas talking about conservative values. This nigga got his fucking neck in a fucking zebra. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? This nigga getting ripped open by a chimpanzee. This nigga getting fucking fucked up by an alligator. Prehistoric, God-made fucking destruction creature of ridiculousness. Nature's fucking crazy. And God made that. So the big question is, what the fuck is wrong with y'all nigga God? And why is it in English? If you look up in the dictionary, nigga, good, or if you look up white, nigga, good, all things grateful. If you look up black, that's just an evil, demonic, nigga. And if it says it in the fucking English language created by your oppressor that you were fucking made to speak, nigga, the God they say to worship might not be the guy you might want to fuck with. You know what I'm saying?
Are you copping the calendar?
Fuck no. Buy no titties. I get titties for free. So fuck y'all niggas be all moral. Yeah, you gotta fucking you gotta conserve everybody. You gotta cover it up and fuck what. You gotta ask a question like, if you go to Africa, there's titties free titties. Niggas ain't like, what's wrong with your minds that you see some titties and go, it's just fucking titties, nigga. Fix your brains. Maybe you need to see some titties to de-tittyfy your fucking self so you can look past the titties when they fucking approach you.
So you don't think this is
can't
bad?
Look past titties?
You don't think this is bad for conservatives? You know, they talk about being modest and the left and the sexual revolution and this being, you know, right in line with all of that. You don't think this is detrimental to what the right is trying to do here?
The government is detrimental to anything good.
Oh, man.
All that shit is doomed to fail. Doomed to fucking fail. Stop trying to save it. Free the titties, nigga. Fuck you, nigga. If I gotta go back to work, my nigga,
They called on his lunch break or something. Said, hold on, I gotta call in. Oh, man. Tari, you last. Tari, you bringing up the tail end. Pause. You better come hard. Pause. Everybody been on fire today. Tari, I hope you got something for us, man. Oh, my Lord. A lot of different opinions. A lot of different opinions around this one calendar. I got to tell you, Seth is a marketing genius. Who knew? I still think he called Bryson, was like, Bryson, I got this calendar come out. I need you to talk shit about it. What if that happened?
Call from.
Yo, Tari.
What up?
What's good, man?
What's up,
Conservative Dads, Real Women of America 2024 calendar. Is it in your cart? Did you purchase it already? Is it on its way to your house?
Oh hell no! I mean, I got no use for a calendar.
No.
I ain't, but if you're gonna do the grift, just do the grift correctly. Look, the reason this is causing problems is niggas don't know how to do the grift correctly. Look, if you're gonna do the conservative grift, you gotta take account of your sister, conservative Christian. Right? Yeah, I mean, shoot, you could even have reached out for the Muslim look and everything. You know, abaya, hijab. We ain't got one of those. They couldn't have found somebody with a hijab, something like that.
You
Come
saying
on
they
now.
should have went super conservative with the calendar?
Yo, ultra right. I mean, if you gonna do the grift the right way, man.
If you're gonna say
I'm
it's
not
ultra
taking-
right, then make it ultra right. That would have been insane.
Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, because I'm not Christian values or anything from Bryson.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you're gonna put a Baptist or something, but you're gonna be Christian, you might as well be Orthodox or something. Get out of here with all that shit. So you're not gonna sit up here and preach on me on the super Christian conservative values if you're not super Orthodox Christian. I need you to be walking around covering yourself up as well. You need to be walking around here just in a suit. You got to be talking in your raps. Make sure you put amen.
I think you hit the nail on the head, right? Ultra right. It should have went ultra right. Could you imagine if this calendar had like fully dressed women on it? Like, I'm talking straight up Amish or Mormon type.
I'm talking and headshots, right? So you really making sure, like, no, we're not even focusing on none of the others. We talking headshots, maybe only top.
That would have been a sick ass troll, bro. The left would have lost their mind. I think we would have been back in the same spot, except the conversation would be a little bit different. And they could have said, we are what we are. We are ultra right. And we are not compromising. Seth could have spun it that way. He could have spun it that way.
Saying?
Yeah.
You got to do the grit. Look, man, you were right. This is good marketing, but like it could have been better marketing, right? It could have been great marketing. That's the kind of shit I'm on right now. I'm looking at businesses. I'm like, all right, what could we have done better here? That's my business now. Might as well.
I like that. I like where your mind is going.
Bryson calling it out. Even if I don't necessarily agree with his angle, I agree with that. Yes, we need to be pushing motherfuckers to have higher standards. All right, if we're gonna be competing with them, you got to do it better. You got to be even more subversive, right? You got to be even more. The memetics have to be on point.
Dutch says this was a missed grift opportunity. This is a missed grift here. I gotta agree. It would have been a crazy troll if all of them were like in the kitchen, fully dressed, skirt down to the ankles. That would have been hilarious.
That means there's still a lane, though. So this is also why I'm not bad.
Oh, shit. Justine, K, J, A, Hotep calendar.
That's what I'm saying.
Uh-oh. I think we got an idea for next year. We got an idea for next year. Men of Order.
You could do a Grifty calendar for real. You could do a
We're going to do Men
calendar.
of Order. We're going to do a menoforder.com calendar. Ladies, submit your headshots.
Yeah.
Submit your headshots. I need you to tag at Men of Order HQ. At Men of Order HQ. Tag with your headshots. Keep your titties out the photo. Tag us with your photos. You know, full body, whatever, because ain't no fat women allowed.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
And we're going to have to do a super conservative. Justine, you got a year to get your body ready. If you fat, well, you got time, baby. You got time. January 1st starts up. Strong Dad is a personal trainer. I need y'all to get right out here. We're getting y'all fully clothed for the menoforder.com calendar next year. Tari, you're a genius.
Hotep, you're a genius.
There's always room for another grift.
Carlos said he just said that. Did you? Okay. A hot Amish chick's milking cows?
We were all thinking it. Let's be honest. No.
Yeah, we might have to shoot some of this stuff on an Amish farm. Oh, this is going to be great. And we could get like a little documentary going, like a behind the scenes where the women are putting on the Amish thing and now they're fucking touching cow titties. How about them tits? Tari, you did something there. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Hotep and Bill.
Hotep and Bill. Oh, shit. Dre calling in. Oh, shit. Here we go. Oh, man. Now, Dre is definitely somebody to put a cap on all of this. If anybody's going to put a cap on this conversation, it's definitely Dre. Dre, call in. Let's talk to Dre. Hey, chat, what y'all think? Conservative? A real conservative menoforder.com calendar? Looking like pilgrims? Straight up, y'all gonna be looking like pilgrims fucking with us. Sister Otis said, LOL, I knew it. This was going to lead into a Hotep calendar. See that? We got to work on this ASAP. Let me write this down. Where my notes at, man? I wrote a rap the other day. We'll talk about that at another time. It's right here. I wrote it on like index cards. It's all right here. I got 3 pages of index cards of rap notes. Anyway, us all is y'all fault, by the way. Hold on. Who this?
Call from
Dre Brown.
Dre, what's up, man?
Umoja to the Kwanzaa celebrants. Hotep Martin Bill.
Umoja, Hotep Martin Bill. What's up, my brother?
Okay, this is my whole problem. What wrong with looking at the beautifulness that God created a female for?
Okay.
Now, if you so animalistic and you can't control your lust, that's your problem. Don't make it mine. You know what I mean?
So you don't think you don't think this calendar is full of lust, or is the lust being put there by our tainted eyes?
That's on each person. You know what I mean? Because I could look at that beautiful woman body and yeah, I might want to hit, but I have enough control inside. I need to know that, okay, let me appreciate the beauty that the Lord made and be glad in it.
Appreciation of the
I'm
body.
not gonna be, appreciation of the human art form. I mean, I understand that everybody got their own beliefs, and I ain't gonna really knock you for your beliefs. I'm gonna laugh at you behind your back, but with the stuff that you believe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you had that clown Christian MAGA rapper, all this stuff like that. Well, no, I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry about that. You know what I mean? Me, as a black person that know better, I laugh at any black person that's still in this day and age that know about Dr. Ben, know about Kemet, and still want to believe in a Christ. So you can look. So you can look outside of you for your own hope. I'm gonna look inside of myself for my hope. But this whole thing, you know what I mean? If these people want to skin out, let them skin out. You know what I mean? That's them. You know what I mean? If they're confident with the beauty in their body, let them show it. If you don't like it, you don't have to view it. Just pass it by. You know what I mean? Just like how a Rastaman won't eat a pork chop. But, you know what I mean? A vegetarian would deal it like that. Stop being in this thing that, like, oh, yeah, because I don't like it, you shouldn't like it. You know what I mean? That's, humanity, I need to get over that hurt. Once we get over that hurt, I think we'll be all better. You know what I mean?
Did you purchase the calendar? Do you have a copy on the way to your house now?
No, I ain't gonna buy that nonsense. I get better, man. I rather get away, man, my money.
Why are you not buying the calendar?
Because I ain't gonna support that nonsense. I ain't want to see none of them women anyway. You know what I mean?
What's wrong with the women?
There's a bunch of white women. There's a bunch of white women. I don't want to look at a bunch of other white women. For what? You know what I mean? No matter how bad and beastly and evil sisters might want to get with the attitudes that, oh yeah, like, you know, Cheesecake Factory and a good first date or nothing like that. I still don't love my black woman. You know what I mean? Now, if they said I had Kim Klacik in it, I might buy her month.
Okay.
But outside of that, you know, now because Kim Klacik is a very fine woman, She's one of those women that I'm waiting when they have genetic cloning for us lonely men.
Yeah.
She's one of those that can sell her genetic material easily. You know what I mean? But this is far in the future. This ain't gonna happen no time soon. It's probably gonna happen like in the 2300s where you could clone people and stuff like that. But you know what I mean? My whole thing is, if you don't like it, don't view it.
The chat said the chat said you want a BBW calendar. That's what the chat said.
Besides me, hold on a second. Now, ain't all fat women created equal? You know what I mean?
if you're shaped like a manatee, if you're shaped like Grimace, if you're shaped like the Goodyear blimp, no. You know what I mean? I mean, no, that leave that for guys who in jail and need something to, you know what I mean? You know, deal with the TT with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like them with curves and shape. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want you to be round all the way around. I want you to have that, you know what I mean? I want you to have that nice golden proportion.
Yeah.
So it's not because me personally, I want to run a campaign and say not all fat girls created equal. Because some of y'all don't look good, and some of y'all shouldn't be out here, you know, saying the stuff that y'all say. We're gonna need to go back to the 90s, the pay like you weigh type business.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's just the evil side of it. But that whole calendar business and people not liking it, and really and truly, let me get Bryson that but I think he's a hypocrite. You know what I mean?
Who, Bryson?
I just think that he just ripped it. Yeah, I think but sooner or later his real side gonna come out. You know what I mean? I'm glad that he's making his money off that MAGA stuff. You know what I mean? Make your money how you make your money, but I just, you know what I mean? I ain't got no love for no black person out here something for Christianity hard like that. I just, you know what I mean? In this day and age, you know what I mean, with knowledge and stuff like that, I mean, if you ain't know better, you know what I mean, I can't help you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you ain't know, you ain't been exposed. But I know you've been exposed because if he talking to a cat like you, I know you probably told him stuff like this before. So, but like I said, I'm gonna leave those type of people with that type of nonsense. You know, those Islamists, those people that believe that women should only be, you know, not seen or heard and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And strangely enough, that is the same type of people that believe that women is for procreation and little boys is for recreation. So I have no respect for them. You know what I mean? Because if you as a man can't watch a naked woman that's not yours and you don't have, how to say it, the whole back in yourself, not to go jump and force yourself on her, you know what I mean? That's a problem. That's something that you need to work in.
But
I can watch naked women all day long.
My bad. You say you go watch naked women all day long and nothing, right?
Yeah, and you know what I mean? I just be happy just to watch the nakedness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm going to want some, but you know what I mean? I'm not going to and try to attack them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not me.
Should people who say that they are conservative be selling sex under the conservative banner?
Well, okay, you want more conservatives, right? That's the only way I know you got breed conservatives. You got to take them for a while they're young. The only way a conservative can make another conservative is two of a conservative man and a woman get together and make conservative kids. So you know what I mean? Bring up in the way that you want. So like I said, me personally, I'm a senior right now in St. Croix where I'm from. We have an carnival with the women dancing to the music, shaking their ass and stuff like that. From a little kid, you know what I mean? I'm accustomed to be out there dancing with grown women, you know what I mean? I just dancing because I know that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? This it's like they want people to be pussies and be afraid of pussy. You know what I mean? I always start to say like that. They should be afraid of women, excuse my language. You know what I mean? They should be afraid of women. No, you shouldn't be afraid of women. You know what I mean? You should not. You know what I mean? Yes, they're fearfully and wonderfully made, but you're not supposed to be scared of them. You just got to know how to operate with them and deal with them. You know what I mean? It's like I said, if it's not for you, you leave it alone. If it's for somebody else, let them have it. So, like I said, if you think that is wrong, you know what I mean? If you yourself can claim that you're conservative, you know what I mean? Your conservative, my conservative might not be the same thing. And personally, I don't try to label myself because some things I'm conservative on, other things I'm progressive on. You know what I mean? Certain things I'm a war hawk on, certain things I'm a peace dog on. So it's like I'm multifaceted, like my birthstone, Aries, the diamond. You know what I mean? You're not going to just say like, oh, I'm just one thing and one thing only. Right. I have too many facets, and all my facets shine. That makes me. So it's like, If they want to be like that, you know, hoorah for them.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm not buying the calendar. You know what I mean? But you got a right to do the calendar. You know what I mean? You have a right. Nobody's telling you like, oh yeah, you have to go out and buy it.
Yeah.
So just leave it alone. And sometimes it's best to just ignore stuff. You know what I mean? All this is doing is get you riled up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And my thing is, with this happening, what is they doing in D.C.? You know what I mean? That we should really pay attention to, instead of a bunch of, you know what I mean, so-called conservative women showing tits to their ass. So
good point. Good point.
That's just me. Like I said, I'm not a smart person. You know what I mean? I'm an island kid, man. You know what I mean? Close to living up in a coconut tree. So I see things different from my view. So if it's not for you, you leave it alone.
All right.
So with that, I know you guys get out of here.
Make sure you watch tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna be talking extensively about Kwanzaa. So I want to hear your Kwanzaa take tomorrow.
Okay. Oh yeah. Well, I was the one to send you a text. I hope that you would have did something about Kwanzaa, but you know what I mean. You let kicks and ass drag you away too. So, but that's just be fucking with you, man. Don't grab me
tomorrow.
All right, man.
All right, Hotel.
All right.
This grift was too. I could not turn this grift down. Matter of fact, can I tell you how I decided on this stream today? I looked in the grift bag, okay, and the grift bag had a couple of things in it. Had some really good, intelligent conversations, and I had been up since early this morning, just working and stuff, working out and working. And then I decided to take a nap. I was like, let me get a little bit of shut eye before the show, set my alarm for noon. And then I woke up right at noon. And as I woke up, it said, intuition said, yo, you're talking about the calendar today, bro. And I'm like, yo, do I really got to talk about the conservative calendar today? And then the grift intuition in my head was like, bro, you have to talk about the calendar today. I said, fine, fuck it. The grift wins today. So, in light of the Grifties, fourth annual Grifties coming soon, live and in person, New Jersey. Tickets will be on sale. Grifties.com. We'll add a link here somewhere, so you guys can get your tickets and come out and hang out with the grifters and meet the grifters in real life. We might get Jeremy out here from the the quartering and whatever. That would be interesting. So yeah, that's how I ended up with this on the show. It was just I couldn't turn down the grift. I just couldn't turn it down. Boris Kofi said, wait a minute. Bryson said if they were libertarian, he wouldn't have beef, but he's beefing with Josie, the redheaded libertarian. What the fuck? Well, that's the thing. I think what he was trying to say is he wasn't actually beefing with her. His beef was just with the whole conservative thing, and she kind of inserted herself into it, but that's what he said on the phone call. Or at least that's what I got from the phone call. So who we got? Who we got volunteering for the Men of Order calendar? I think I saw Jay. Jay said, Jay's in here. She said she gonna wear her netted hat like on and that she wears on the riding mower. We might need a picture of you on a riding mower. Who else in here? What else did she say? She said, HJ, I'll pose with my fresh baked homemade bread. Oh, this is a real Hotep woman over here. So we got Jay in the calendar. Who else we got in the calendar for our conservatively clad women for the menoforder.com calendar? We got to make this happen. I'm putting aside a budget for this. What is going on in these Hotep streets? First, we had a Canadian fast talking unk. Now we have a Caribbean unk. Yo, Dre calls in a lot. Dre usually calls in. He's usually got great things to say as well. Very salient thinker. Man. Nas wants me to start up a Twitter Spaces. I think that's just too much grifting on this topic for today. I would love to, but I don't know if that's a good use of my time to open up a Twitter Spaces about this. And I think everybody's pretty much over this calendar thing. So that's that. But yeah, maybe I will fire one up. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel in a few minutes. But today's show was fire. It was electric. It was crazy. It had beef. It was funny. We had celebrities call into the show. So really historical episode. I'm definitely gonna get this one up on Spotify, YouTube. I'll even include the callers in that, so it'll be up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So you guys can go listen there. Not all episodes make it there, but this one I think is going to be a classic. So we got to include this one. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. It's always a great show here at the Grift Report. I'll be back tomorrow. Grift Report live Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. I'm your host, the Grift God.
Hotep Jesus.
And until then, Hotep and Bill.